Hello. Today I'm going to discuss what I found in Numbers chapter 34 and 35. This is two chapters that's devoted to recapping what happened to the children of Israel when they left Egypt all the way up to entering into the Promised Land. This was a recap that basically began by saying that the children of Israel left Egypt the day after Passover, and while the Egyptians were mourning the loss of their firstborn. And when they left there, when I was reading in the New Living Translation, it was saying things like, they left here and went there. They left here and went there. They left here and went there, and here and went there, and here and went there. And if you read those things in your natural mind, especially if you read the whole book, it seems like a bunch of repetition and what for. And my encouragement to us all is to see God in all of this stuff. And the way I see it is that this was like selfies being taken. You know how you can look at pictures and you can say, oh, that's when I was in Florida, or that's when I was in Washington State, or that's when I went to Houston that time. And so it's not just the picture there. You remember what was going on in those various locations, whether you were happy, you were sad, who you were with and who you were not with, who missed the trip, you get the picture. And so there were various things that happened along the way. When they first got out of Egypt and Pharaoh had drowned in the Red Sea, they sang these songs and they were rejoicing. And right after the song was over, they were like, "What a water! Did you bring us out here to die?" In the end, I wrote a devotional. I wrote a commentary today about it called "In God We Trust." And this was just, trust is a muscle that must be developed. We all are born with trust. Like babies, trust and muscles. Babies have muscles, but they must be developed. Okay, and even when a baby is born, you don't hand them 1 pound weights or 2 pound weights and make them work out. There's a development process. And so the children's trust in God had to be developed as a muscle. And what we wound up seeing was people who were walking by faith and not by sight. When they left here and left here and went there, what should be in the background, how you see a picture, and especially like if you're a mother or whoever is the one that's the taker of the pictures in the family, you'll see pictures of everybody else, but you know who is behind the camera. Well, you should see in these pictures of the children of Israel that God is always behind the camera, or actually he showed up in the film as the cloud by day and the pillar by night. You see that off in the distance. God was always there. He was always with them. And so along the way, the children of God made God happy and sad. At some point, he was like, listen, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going with them no more. Moses, you take them. And Moses was like, hey, listen, if you don't go, I ain't going. Okay, so I'm going to try to wrap this up by giving another example. And I'm going to use the vehicles in my family, especially as it relates to my daughter. Every car has a story. My daughter's had a few accidents. And if I put a picture of the Volvo in there, then I put a picture of Prius in there, then I put a picture of Altima in there, then I put a picture of Lexus in there, and I put a picture of Altima in there. If I showed those pictures to my daughter, each car would tell a story. They left here, went there. They left here, they went there. They left here, they went there. So let me give you a little bit of insight on what happened with those cars as it relates to my daughter. The Volvo was the car that I had. That was the car, that was my car. Drove it, paid off, and it survived everybody in the family except for my daughter. It survived her dad, me, her brother, and there were stories with her brother, but it did not survive her. When she got the car, she posted out on Facebook, I got my car, don't nobody ask me for a ride, nowhere, nobody, nothing. The girl who had just been getting rides everywhere proclaims, don't ask me for no ride. Okay. The very first day she got the car, God laid that thing off in a ditch. A ditch that we didn't even know was there. Laid it off in a ditch. Well, all that big bad talk, she needed rides. The next car, the Prius is in the story. She didn't wreck that. I messed that one up. The engine burned out. Car that was paid for again. Oh, dreaded. Oh. But I wound up getting a Nissan Altima. Credit situation not good at all. Life issues, right? Bought that car. Tried to get it refinanced. Could not get it refinanced. Oh my God. And along the way I had been hearing gap insurance. I started hearing gap insurance. Gap insurance. Did not know what gap insurance was. Called my insurance company because I had been hearing gap insurance one too many times. The insurance agent told me, yes, we'll give it to you. We'll cover you for 2 years. So I was like in year number, it was like 1.5. And he said, well, it's going to expire in 6 months. Well, you know what? Go ahead and give it. It was really inexpensive. It cost less than $20. Got it. The next car, is one that I didn't mention. It was a friend's car. I don't even know what make and model that car was. She was driving that girl's car, and I told her not to drive that girl's car. She did. I FaceTimed her. She was in that car. Oh, I typed her up one of those text messages that went like that, and I had to delete. And I just wound up telling her, be careful. She called me in distress, and she had an accident. She was T-boned crossing a divided highway, and that car hit her into another car. All I'm gonna say about that is she escaped that. God got her out of that. Everybody in that car, they were where they were not supposed to be, doing what they were not supposed to be doing, in what they were not supposed to be in, and God brought them out of that. Okay? Go to my Altima, the one that I got because I burnt out the engine in the Prius. She got in an accident with that. She actually was doing what she was supposed to be doing. She had taken someone to a restaurant as I had asked her to, that she was going to get something for her hair, and on the way she rear-ended someone. And I was so not upset with that. In the end, that car got totaled out, so though the refinance didn't work, hey, if that accident had happened 6 days later, my gap insurance would have expired. So 5 days before the gap insurance was to expire, she totals out my car, and I wind up with a Lexus that I wind up paying the same that I owed on the Altima, and the payments were less. Oh, glory. And now when she wrecked the Volvo, I told her, I said, listen, baby, that's all that was in my budget. That's all I got for you. I don't have anything else. And along comes Corona. And she and I are able to work together, and we did Instacart, and she bought her own car cash. Hey, we walk by faith and not by sight. I hope you see this. You can look at a picture, you can look at pictures and see a whole lot of bad, a whole lot of stuff going on. But that's not what God is intending for us to see. He is not intending for us to dwell in the bad when He is the one that makes all things work together for the good. God made everything good. And so if He made everything good, then you should be able to see the God in all of this. These are snapshots and pictures. Left here, went there. Left here, went there. And I hope that you're able to see God in all of your situations. I'm about to turn, so this is about to be upside down. But God can turn everything around for you. Trust God. When you are trusting